Hi everyone and welcome back to GK Today. I am Sia and very good morning. Here we are discussing the most important current affairs of 8th of August. But first let us revise the last day current affairs that we have discussed, and they are: what is the name of the joint humanitarian relief operation recently carried out by the Assam Rifles and the Indian Air Force in Manipur? And that is option number C, Operation Sahyog. The next one: HQ-16 is a surface-to-air missile system developed by which country? And that country is option number A, China it is. The next one: Sawalkot Hydroelectric Power Project is located in which state or UT of India? And that is option number B, Jammu and Kashmir. The next is the Central Industrial Security Force CISF functions under which ministry? And that is option number D, Ministry of Home Affairs it is. Where was the Beamstick Traditional Music Festival 2025 held? And that location basically hosted in New Delhi. Option number is A answer. The next one: what is India's global rank in fish production as of 24-25? So we stands at the second rank after China. The next one: where was the China-Russia joint naval exercise called Joint Sea 2025 conducted? And the location is option number A, Sea of Japan it is. The next one: Krasheneniko volcano that was recently seen in news is located in which country? And that country is option number C, Russia, and exactly the Kamchatka Peninsula. The next one: who won the Chess Esports World Cup 2025? And that is option number B, Magnus Carlsen. The next one: which country is the host of 8th Commonwealth Youth Games 2027? And that is the European island nation located in the south of Italy. Its capital is Valletta, and the answer is option number A, Malta. Right, back to the session. So today we are discussing the topics including Pehel scheme, LEAP-1, the first commercial satellite mission developed by an Indian space tech startup. We will discuss its update. A report by NITI Aayog, Intermediate Range Nuclear Force Treaty in news, India signed hub portal, and a scholarship scheme, that is National Means Cum Merit Scholarship scheme. Recently a police operation launched by the Uttar Pradesh, Kartavya Bhavan 03, the recent inauguration by the PM Modi, Kheer Ganga River, and India's global rank in terms of largest aviation market. Here we go with the first one. The first one: LEAP-1 is the first commercial satellite mission of which Indian space tech startup? And that is option number A, Dhruva Space. They are from the Hyderabad, and recently they are launching their first commercial satellite mission by a joint collab. And that collab basically it is among Dhruva Space from India, Akula Tech from Australia, and the Esper satellite that is also from Australia. So they will together launch their first commercial satellite mission, and that is LEAP-1, and with the help of Falcon 9 rocket of SpaceX in the Earth's lower Earth orbit. Right, here the LEAP-1, it carries AI and Earth observation payloads using the P30 platform. Point of discussion: the P30 platform, basically it is a satellite platform indigenously developed by the Dhruva Space itself, and it is space qualified on ISRO's PSLV C58 program held in January 2024. So the Dhruva Space will use their P30 platform for LEAP-1 space mission. Right, overall here the point of discussion, and that is Indian space tech startup. The first one is Dhruva Space. They are from Hyderabad, and just because of LEAP-1 they were in news. The second one we are discussing, and that is Skyroot Aerospace. In 2022 they were in headline because they developed India's first private rocket. Its name was Vikram S, to honor Vikram Sarabhai, the founder of ISRO, and basically they launched it from the Satish Dhawan Space Center, Sri Harikota. Overall, Vikram S, it is India's first private rocket developed by the Skyroot Aerospace, and Skyroot Aerospace, they are also from the Hyderabad. The second one, here we are discussing the major space tech startup, and that is Agnikul Cosmos. It is also important because Agnikul Cosmos is the second Indian space tech startup that launched their private rocket. So India's second private rocket, and that is launched by the Agnikul Cosmos. Its name was the Agni Ban, And please note, Agnikul Cosmos, it is also important because they developed India's first private launch pad inside the Satish Dhawan Space Center. So the first launch pad by a private space startup, and that is the Agnikul Cosmos, right? So point to be remembered, Skyroot Aerospace, they launched India's first private rocket, that is Vikram S. Agnikul Cosmos, they launched India's second private rocket, and also they launched India's first private launch pad. And the last one, the Digantara and Pixel. Recently in January 2024, the mission SCOT, basically it is a space surveillance mission jointly launched by the Digantara and Pixel, a major Indian space tech startup, right? Hope all the questions are clear. Overall here, the word AI. So who is known as the father of artificial intelligence? And that is John McCarthy. Basically, he coined the term in 1956 and he organized the first AI conference. So the father, that is John McCarthy. Moving on, here we are revising some other current affairs that is related with the word startup, and they are: where was the UP Agritech Innovation Hub and Startup Technology Showcase recently inaugurated? And that is Meerut. And which ministry has launched the Vivek Startup Challenge 2025 to develop an AI-powered multilingual translation solution? And that is by Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, whose recent cabinet minister is Ashwani Vaishnav, who is also handling the Ministry of Railway. The next one, which institution has launched the Samarth Incubation Program to support startups in the telecom and ICT sector? And that is Centers for Development of Telematics, the CDOT. And international startup, that is Nitrocapt. They were in news because recently they won the 2025 Food Planet Prize, and basically they are from the Sweden. The next one, which company has launched the AI First India 2025 Startup Accelerator to boost India's emerging startups? And that country is Google. Which agency is responsible for implementing the Credit Guarantee Scheme for startups? And that is National Credit Guarantee Trustee Company Limited, and it functions under the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Point to be remembered, right? Moving on, the next one, here we are discussing the INF Treaty, that is Intermediate Range Nuclear Forces Treaty, that was signed between the Russia and the which country? Russia, basically it is formerly known as the Soviet Union, we all know that. And the other country is option number D, United States. So recently Russia has officially declared that it is no longer bound by the Intermediate Range Nuclear Force Treaty. The INF Treaty, it was signed in the year 1987 between the US and the Russia. Basically, its objective was to destroy two category of dangerous missile system to slow down the nuclear arms race. And the treaty targeted ground launched missile with a range of 500 to 5500 kilometer, and it came after a massive missile buildup in Europe by both powers, and it was signed during the leadership of US President, and that is Ronald Reagan, and the Soviet leader, that is Mikhail Gorbachev. And the treaty enabled mutual verification, leading to the dismantling of some 2619 missiles in the 3 years, but now it is no longer active between the countries, the US and the Soviet Union. So INF, it was signed in the 1987 and officially suspended in the year 2025, and the US, basically it left the treaty in the year 2019 and the Russia in the year 2025. So the point of discussion here, we are discussing some major treaties that is between Russia and the United States of America to control the nuclear arms weapon. The first one, and that is the START 1, the first ever treaty between US and the Soviet Union. Basically, it signed in the year 1991, enforced in 1994 between the US and the Soviet Union, and START 1 here expired in the year 2009, but it was replaced by another treaty, and that is SALT, also known as the Moscow Treaty. Then SALT, it is replaced by the new START Treaty. So here we are discussing the New START Treaty. It was signed in the 2010 between the Obama and Medvedev from the Russia, and came in action in the year 2011, right? Overall, START 1, it was signed in the year 1991, then get replaced by the SORT in the year 2009. Then the SORT, it was replaced by the New START in the year 2010. But now all these treaties are suspended between the Russia and the United States of America. So INF treaty, here we discussed its signing year was 1987 and its ending year is 2025, officially declared by the Russia. Moving on, here we are discussing some international current affairs that were in current news, and they are. So, which country has introduced world's first sanction regime to combat irregular migration in January 2025, and that is by the UK. And which country has joined OPEC Plus in Feb 2025, and that is Brazil. And which country has been chosen to chair the 68th session of the Commission of Narcotic Drugs, and that is India. Lawrence Wong has been elected as PM of which country, and that country is Singapore. Golden Dome Defense System. Recently it was introduced by the United States. And which organization has launched the global initiative Global Specs 2030 to provide affordable eye care for all by 2030, and that is by World Health Organization. Tianwen second probe to collect samples from the asteroid, that is 2016 HO3, and recently launched by the China. The next question, and that is Kartavya Bhavan 03. It was recently constructed in New Delhi under which initiative? And that initiative is option number C, Central Vista Redevelopment Project. Its launching year, it was 2019. Its deadline, it is 2026, and the total budget for this project, and that is 20,000 crore, and it functions under the Ministry of Home Affairs, right? So basically, the Prime Minister Narendra Modi recently inaugurated Kartavya Bhavan 03 on 6th of August 2025 in New Delhi under the Central Vista Redevelopment Project. Please note that building, it is the first of 10 building in the Common Central Secretariat, aiming to unify all ministries for better coordination and efficiency, right? Overall, Kartavya Bhavan 03, it will house key ministries like Home Affairs, External Affairs, Rural Development, MSME, Department of Personnel, Petroleum and Natural Gas, and the other principal offices, right? So this move replaces aging buildings like Shastri Bhavan, Udyog Bhavan, and Krishi Bhavan built in the year 1950s and 70s. And basically the old architecture of Indian government offices, it was originally designed by the Edwin Lutyens and the Herbert Baker during the British era, point to be remembered. And recently the Central Vista Redevelopment Project, the designed firm, and that is the HCP Design Planning and Management Private Limited. So the project is with the HCP Design and Planning Management Private Limited. It is an Indian architect firm based in Gujarat, and currently the head person of this management private limited company, and that is the Hasmukh C. Patel, right? So Hasmukh C. Patel, he is handling the Central Vista Redevelopment Project for Government of India. Here we are discussing two major words that is related with Central Vista Redevelopment Project. The first one, and that is Central Vista Complex. Basically, Central Vista Complex, it is 3.2 kilometer stretch started from Rashtrapati Bhavan to India Gate, Delhi. The second one is Central Vista Avenue. Basically, it includes Kartavya Path, formerly known as Rajpath, and the India Gate lawn. Overall, these both sides are related with the annual Republic Day parade, and the project, it comes under the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. Overall, the Central Vista Redevelopment Project, it was started in 2019 with a budget of 20,000 crore, and recently Kartavya Bhavan 03 was constructed under the Central Vista Redevelopment Project, and that's why this question is in news. Moving on, the next one, Here we are discussing a major river, and that is Kheer Ganga river, which was seen in news due to flash flood, is a tributary of which major river in Uttarakhand. So basically, please note, it is the major tributary of Alaknanda. So recently, a major cloud burst in Uttarakhand state, and it caused flash floods in high altitude villages of Dharali in Uttarkashi district of the Uttarakhand due to sudden heavy rainfall over the Kheer Ganga river, that is a tributary of the Alaknanda river. So cloudburst, basically it is a sudden very intense rainfall of more than 100 millimeter within 1 hour over a small area, just like 10 kilometer square only, and it is common in mountainous area like the Himalaya and the Uttarakhand, as we all know. So just because of recent flash flood in the state of Uttarakhand, the Kheer Ganga river, its water level has risen, and that's why this question was in news. Overall, here we are discussing the Alaknanda river. Basically, Alaknanda river, it is a major tributary of the river Ganga. In the Devaprayag, two major river forming the Ganga. The first one is Alaknanda river and the second one is Bhagirathi river, and they meet in the Devprayag and form the Ganga river, right? Moving on, the next one, here we are discussing a scheme, and that is PEHEL. First of all, the full form of PEHEL scheme, and that is Pratyaksh Hastantarit Labh, and please note it is a DBT scheme. DBT here stands for Direct Benefit Transfer Scheme. So it was launched in the year 2014 under the DBT, and recently it was in news because the Indian government deactivated over 4 crore fake or inactive LPGs connection under the PEHEL scheme, and that's why this question was in news. PEHEL schemes, it functions under the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas, whose cabinet minister is Hardeep Singh Puri, and basically the target is to eliminate all these fake accounts who is using this scheme for the subsidies. Overall, this largest cash transfer program covers over 17 crore users, ensuring transparency and preventing LPG diversion. Launching year was 2014, and it is a DBT scheme. DBT here stands for Direct Benefit Transfer, right? Moving on, the next one. Which institute has released a report titled Unlocking a $200 billion Opportunity Electric Vehicle in India, and recently it was launched by the Niti Aayog. So recently Niti Aayog's report, basically it focuses on boosting India's shift to electric mobility. So here a data, and that is India's target some 30% EV sales by 2030, with sales rising from 50,000 in 2016 to 2.08 million in 2024, compared to global sales increasing from 9,18,000 to 18.78 millions in the same period, and that is between 2016 to 2024. Overall, this report highlights the vast market of the electric vehicles in India and recently launched by the Niti Aayog. So the Niti Aayog, basically its founding year, and that was 1st of January 2015. It replaced the Yojana Aayog in 2014. Their first CEO, and that is Sindhushri Khullar, and basically the full form, the Niti Aayog, it stands for National Institution for Transforming India. Moving on, the next one, here we are discussing a major portal, and that is the India Sign Hub portal. It was launched by the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting on 28th June 2024. Basically here the central government encouraged states to use the India Sign Hub portal to boost local film production. Basically this portal offers a single window system for film permissions and incentive, and it is developed under NFDC. NFDC, that is National Film Development Corporation, and it aims to help foreign filmmakers shoot films in India by easing procedures and promoting India as a filming destination. And that's why this portal was in news, because recently the ministry published some guidelines to use this portal to boost the India's film market. Overall, the portal, it was launched in the year 2024, and the launching ministry is Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, whose cabinet minister is Ashwani Vaishnaw. Moving on, the next one, here we are discussing a national means cum merit scholarship scheme that was launched by which ministry, and that is option number C, Ministry of Education. So recently the Ministry of Education's and a particular department, that is Department of School Education and Literacy, recently held an awareness session on national means cum merit scholarship scheme in Meerut, Uttar Pradesh, and that's why this question is in news. Basically, it was launched by the Ministry of Education as a centrally sponsored scheme, and this scheme gives UP 15,000 new scholarships annually. The students can register on the portal of National Scholarship associated with the NMMSS scheme after class 8 using Aadhaar with a new OTR system, one-time registration system, that is starting from 24-25 to avoid the duplication of benefit. Overall, the launching year of NMMSS scheme, and that was 2008, and the goal is to prevent dropout of economically weaker students after class 8th. Moving on, the next one. What is the name of the police operation launched in Kanpur district of Uttar Pradesh to crack down on land mafia and extortion gangs? And that is Operation Mahakal. So recently, the CM Yogi Adityanath in Uttar Pradesh, he started Operation Mahakal in Kanpur district of UP, targeted the land mafia and the Gundaraj, basically the extortion gangs. Basically, the operation, it is divided in two phases. The phase 1, it is until 5th of September 2025, focuses on listing suspects including government employees, public representative and the journalist as well. Phase 2, it will begin on 15th of September 2025, aiming to seize illegal assets, file charges and dismantle the criminal network, and the beginning was on 15th of September, right? So recent operation by the UP, and that is Operation Mahakal. The next is, what is India's global ranking in terms of the largest aviation markets in 2024 according to the National Air Transport Association, and that is 5th. So the first rank holder is US, followed by China, UK and Spain, and here India is on 5th rank, becoming the 5th largest aviation market, handling some 211 million passengers as of 2024 data. And please note, here we surpassed Japan's 205 million passengers. And this report, basically it is from IATA. The headquarters, it is based in the Montreal, Canada. The founding year was 1945, and the primary function of IATA, that is International Air Transport Association, to facilitate safe, secure and efficient air transport, and it functions under the International Civil Aviation Organization, that is a UN agency, right? Moving on, so the topic of the quiz, and that is related with the major reports and indices in news that you have to mention in the comment box. For more information, you can check the description box just below the video, and thank you for watching.